And for some of you young folk, just to remind you that the Palestinian mandate that was set aside for Israel, when they formed Israel, 85% of it was given to the Arabs, and they kept only 15%. That was at the beginning. Now, since that time, it has been whittled away, whittled away, whittled away, whittled away. So you got to ask yourself, do y'all remember the story of Samson? And Samson is with this girl, and she keeps saying, you know, if you love me, you'd tell me the secret of your strength. And he said, well, if you bind me with ropes. And so he wakes up one morning, he's bound in ropes, which for most of us would say, you know, that ought to tell you something. But he breaks the ropes and goes out, and they said, well, you were just funning with me. You didn't. And so he does until finally he tells her the secret. And, of course, then he ends up getting his eyes poked out, and then he spends the rest of his time grinding like an ox. They had an ox that ran the grinding mill, and he was strong, and so he had to stand there. He was blind, and he pushed that thing around for the rest of his life. Now, you would think your conclusion for that would be, that wasn't a very bright thing to do. Okay, let's fast forward here about 3,000 years. And you think, well, if I just give you this, and 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 they're doing it over and over and over and over. They gave away Gaza just a year and a half ago. You think, you know, they're getting down to almost nothing. You got to ask yourself, you want to go over and grab them by the lapels. At what point do you think they're not going to try to smash you? I mean, there is no amount of land that you can give them other than 100% that will make them happy. So you got to understand that that's the way. Nevertheless, go ahead.
I have a friend of mine who has family members in Gaza and in Bethlehem. And in Bethlehem, his family members are terrified that things could get worse. His family members in Gaza, when elections came, what did they do with their freedom in elections? They voted Hamas into power. They voted a terrorist group into power. And he asked them, because he lives in the States now, he asked them, would you rather have been under Israeli control in Gaza, or as it has been now with Hamas? And they said, we long for the days now when we were under Israeli control in Gaza. Absolutely tragic. It's a mess. While we're at it, please pray for the First Baptist Church of Gaza. Right across the street, 300 feet away from the Hamas headquarters, is a thriving, flourishing Baptist church. They meet in public, they praise God in public, they sing worship songs to the top of their lungs, knowing that it could kill them that day, and that church is growing in Gaza. So pray for them. Please pray for them.
One more quick thing. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you'll see it in your email in the next week or so, that the 27th of the month, Barack Obama signed an executive order bringing several thousand of the Hamas folks that they're a threat to Israel. And so as a compromise, they said, why don't you bring those folks to America? And so that's what he's doing, and you'll see it.
See it or feel it?
Both.
Yeah, okay.
Congressman, I really appreciate you taking your time and coming here and speaking to us, and I also appreciate and thank you for your service to this country.
Thank you.
I'd like you to address for us the issue of SPP. For those who don't really know about this, it pertains to North American Union.
There is a great deal about it. First of all, the idea of America losing its sovereignty is a non-starter right there, so we have to be very cautious of that. Then above and beyond that, the degree to which you want to have cooperation. So how do you clearly define the line? And some would say to go too far. Others want to do away with American sovereignty. We certainly don't want to do that. Others want to do away with the currency. We don't want to do that. So some of it is overly fearful that we're going to go too far. And so with that understanding, I would just say we need to be very, very cautious that the United States is a unique place. I believe that it is an exceptional place. And what Mexico needs is more of American ideas. America doesn't need more Mexican ideas. And so therefore there's going to be a consolidation. It'll be a consolidation of the rule of law, respect for private property, freedom, and the opportunity for business to operate unmolested from the tyranny of criminals. So therefore, that's why America needs to be protected from any kind of consortium that would remove its independence.
Excellent.
Hello, I have a question. It comes actually from my daughter, who is very proud of. She's going to be student body president at Cal Baptist University.
Awesome.
And we would, both of us, that's a question for me too. We'd like to know, what do you think are the most important qualities of a leader?
Important qualities of a leader? I would think that they would have to have an understanding of who they are, and that is, as I said last night, there's a value system. And a value system of what is pleasing to people at any given time is the antithesis, in my judgment, of a leader. As Margaret Thatcher said, that consensus is the antithesis of leadership. So it doesn't take any skill to get people together. Another one, she said that being a leader is like being a lady. If you have to tell people you are, you aren't. And
Wow.
and so therefore, I believe that being a leader is a person who stands for something and knows why.